Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Last week, I took you with me in the Garden of Luxembourg and showed you how to get some dramatic black and white. This week, I want to show you, as promised, on how to do it with just a few clicks using amazing preset, but also I want to give you some more theory behind dramatic black and white and Ansel Adams style. Let's do it. All right, guys. So as you know, I'm passionate about black and white, and years ago, I did a book on Paris and New York in black and white. And, you know, I love black and white. And when I did the books years ago, which are also, by the way, completely sold out, I spent a lot of time studying this man, Ansel Adams. In case you don't know who Ansel Adams is, he's known as one of the greatest adventure photographer, landscaper of all times. And he was very known for this very dramatic black and white. Look how black this guy is and how much of a gradient there is there, you know. He did all the national parks. He specialized in Yosemite, which I'll show you a photo from mine also. His photos are still doing really well and are still very popular today. He invented what we call the zone system. The zone system, I'm going to try to make it simple for you, is basically different areas. You can see on this photo, he would assign different areas of darkness or brightness of what we call luminosity, you know, based on different sections of the photo. Now, how did he do this? Well, let me introduce you to Ansel Adams' son, talking to one of my best friend, Mark Silberg. And Mark went to, I think it was in Carmel. There is Ansel Adams' son lives there, and he was showing, you know, how he was dodging and burning his photos. So dodging and burning means making, as I explained you, some areas brighter and some darker. What Ansel Adams' son is holding in his hand is what we call the dodge tool that was invented almost by Ansel Adams or by by the people around that time. And if you look at it, this is the dodge tool on Photoshop. Sorry, it's very pixelated, but it's the exact same shape. Now, Ansel invented this burn machine, which is amazing, that Ansel Adams' son showed us. Basically, back in the day, the idea is they were projecting a positive paper with a negative. And there was different bulbs involved. Usually, I mean, people who had no money only had one bulb. And then it would project, and the longer you would project, the more you would burn the paper. Okay, now, what if you wanted to just, have the sky being burned? Ansel had this machine where he could turn on, for example, just the bulbs on top and make the top of the photo darker, or the bottom brighter. For example, this is one of his most famous photo. It's called Moon over Hernandez, New Mexico. That is the negative as sort of it came out, and that's how you find it in gallery. Check out how let me show you in compare mode. Check out how the sky on a retouch version is completely dark compared to this. Look at the moon, how much the moon has more details than the original. Look how much more contrast there is on the on the clouds compared to this. And look how much he dodged, made brighter the mountains here and the city there. Okay, so using these tools, he was able to do that. Now, how can we apply this on in Lightroom? Well, I developed a whole bunch of presets where you can really get close to this kind of look very fast. And I'm actually going to give them for free. You can download them. The link is under the video. And at the end of the video, if you stay until the end, I'll show you how to install it because I made it for people which are Creative Cloud member, paying $10 per month, or people which have like an old version of Lightroom 5 or Lightroom 6. I don't think it could even work with Lightroom 4. I haven't tested. I don't have a Lightroom 4 version. It is like too long ago in a galaxy, too far away from me now. And mesdames et messieurs, don't forget to smash that like button. It really helps for other people to find out about this video. Also, leave me a comment. I read every single comment. Tell me what you would like to learn or what I can improve, and I will answer you. So this is from the shot that we did last week, where I took you with me in the Garden of Luxembourg. And so the way I do black and white is I have this crazy preset which I'm giving you. So they're called, black and white basic. So the black and white basic has 20 different sliders, and they were really made for landscape. So they are going to make your blues a little darker. They're going to give like an overall look to the photo. The problem is that it's kind of flat. Then you have the next one, which is called black and white linear. Now this one, look at the difference between basic. I'm gonna reset it. Look at the difference between basic, and then when I go to linear, you see the top and the bottom of the photos are being darkened because I've added a gradient on top and I've added a gradient on the bottom. And then we have black and white linear circle. It's the same thing, but this one's got a whole bunch of circles, which is dodge points. So points that you want to make brighter or darker. There is 5, in fact, that you can move around and, you know, just make some part of the photo darker and brighter. And then you have black and white linear dark, which is basically the same thing than the one above. It just has a different contrast. And you have darker, and then you have light, and then you have lighter. Okay, all of that I'm giving you for free. The link is below this video. So let's start with black and white linear circle. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to go to the develop module. The first thing that I do when I apply one of my presets is I check my black point and my white point. So you hold on the option key, you check the black point. You want to make sure, you know, Ansel always had like 2, 3, 4% of pure blackness in his photo. So something like that is kind of cool. And then you still hold on the option key, you click on the white, and you want to go at the threshold. You see what you see here in white is pure white. It's completely burned. There's no more information. So, you know, if I would print this, it would just be paper. It wouldn't be ink. So I'm just going to back it down at the limit. You can have a little bit, but not too much. Okay, cool. And then usually I adjust the exposure and the contrast at this point. But now most of the work is done. So all I have to do now is 3 things. It's like kind of a checklist. The gradient on top. So my black and white presets have 2 gradients on top. One for the overall sky and one for the very top. Because often Ansel Adams used to have the very top of his photos really dark. You know, or like I showed you, like this one. Look at this one, for example. See how it's very dark here at the top? Or this is a good example. I mean, it's very dark and it goes on a gradient here, you know. Not on this one. Not on every one, but I love the look. You know, I love the look of having at the top, you know, some darkness. So let's go back to this one. And so here is the gradient. And also, you know, I kind of did my own style, but it looks very similar to what Ansel, and not just Ansel Adams. Ansel Adams was just, you know, the Michael Jackson of the time. But, you know, a lot of people are doing this today. Okay, and then here I can just adjust. This one is going to make it darker or brighter, something like that. So you adjust the gradient. Now the photo is not straight, so I'm going to try to go into the upright, see if I can make it straight. Sometimes that doesn't work. That's fine. We're going to use the angle, and I'm just going to follow here. I think that would be kind of straight, the horizon. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's still not very straight. I think I went a little too much. You know what? I'm not going to use the angle escape. I'm just going to rotate around. Yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. I like that. Okay, the next one is the circle on the checklist. So the idea of the circle, well, you know, same idea. You want to dodge points. You want to have a photo that has that is really rich. Let me show you one like this one, for example. Of, you know, that's really rich. You know, this is really dark. This is really bright. This one is really. Let me show you. This one's more sharp. You see how the trees are really dark, and here it's really dark. And so you want to, you know, you want to basically make some part brighter, make some part darker. You know, that you can see, like, see how that sky is really dark and how this is really bright. So basically what I do with that, and that's just my way of doing it in 2019, is I move around this, basically these circles, and if you think they're too strong, you can adjust them. They're at 0.73 per, you know, so maybe this can be cool a little bit here. Definitely some of this on this flower. And the idea also is to complexify the light. This one in the flower. What I mean by complexify the light is that if everything is kind of the same grayish, it's going to be boring. You know, that's what I explained. So I just, and with this technique, I'm able to do black and white at a speed you have no idea. You know, it's just probably 10x. No, I'm not going to duplicate it. I'm just going to move this one around. So I kind of like that. And usually what, you know, this one is too much. Actually, I'm looking at this one, so it's too much. So I'm going to lower it and put it here maybe. Because it just drags. Oh yeah, because it was 2 on top of each other. Maybe put this one here. Or if you don't know what to do with one, you can just erase it. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and then usually what I do is I take a little brush. I make sure my feather and flow is around 70-ish. I'm double click here to put everything at 0. I'm just going to add a bit of exposure. And then sometime I just, you know, do another pass at it, you know, with a very light value, you know, to like, for example, here on, and then when I like what I did, I'm going to click new. For example, I want to give a little more details here on the skies. So just make sure you're really at 70 in density, you know, and woo, I really like this one. So let's see here. Before, backslash key, after, before, after. And it goes really fast. Now, let's do a little homage to Ansel Adams with this photo of Yosemite. So same thing, you know, what I do is I take the first one. Usually I go on black and white, linear circle, dark, and I look at the photo, darker, light, lighter. On this one, I'm going to choose darker. And look, most of the work is done. It's crazy, you know, and then I just adjust my preset. So sometimes you have an issue where the gradient is going to make the top of, like, this is El Capitan. So you can go to range mask off, luminance, and just move that slider a little bit. And you see it's going to relight El Capitan and put this behind. You got to try these presets on your photo. You won't believe, you will not believe. I've had, I'm not kidding, maybe 800 emails from people who told me, I try these presets. I mean, it's for free, you know, what's the risk? Try them on your own photo. And then you just have to move around these circles in places which could be interesting. You know, I want to make this a little bit brighter. The eyes basically goes to the brightest part of the photo. So, you know, you're trying to, no, I think it's nicer to have this a little dark on top. And this one, maybe put it here where the snow is. Yeah, something like this. Okay, and again, backslash key to see the before and the after. Okay, cool. And yeah, this is a photo I shot last week in Paris. I haven't tried it yet, but I just want to show you how fast I work with this preset. You know, oh, I'm going to take dark on this one, and then check my black point. I even check the black point and white point on the other one because I'm lazy. And look at this. Ooh, you know, and then just have to move the circle around. I definitely don't want a circle there. It's already really blown out. Maybe here. You know, and yeah, on the water. And of course, I would spend more time. I just want to show you how fast you can get some really cool results. You know, sometimes I do the brush, sometimes I don't. Like this one, I might do a little bit of a brush. Just want to make this a little brighter, not too much. Try to never go over 0.5 on this value, whether it's on the circle or on the brush. Okay, and then if you have a photo like this, which is basically the same one, you know, that's the same photo I just cropped out because I was afraid this would be too much blown out. So you can select it, click synchronize, synchronize. Boom. Okay, this one is too dark now. That's fine because I must have changed the exposure. So check your black point, check your white point, check your exposure. Okay, this one is kind of not straight. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can make it more straight with auto. No, I don't like how it is. I think on this one, I'm going to go 16:9 because I love 16:9. So if you, and I want to make sure the building, because this is the Pont Neuf, and it's a little crooked actually in real life. It goes up and down like this. So I'm making sure the building is straight. Okay, and now that's the first. So you see, I lost a gradient here. So I can just redo the gradient because it was up there. And I just want to make sure the top of the photo is darker. Here's another gradient. I can grab it and put it there. And then let's do the circle. Voila, voila, voila. You know, oh, I love Paris. This is, look at this. This is one of the nicest bridges in Paris. Look at this photo. I mean, come on. It took me 5 seconds. In real life, it's 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Okay, and even it works on portraits. You know, this is my daughter. I did some photo. I mean, you need to work a little more. I think I'm going to use this one and check out my black point. Too much. My white point. And then on this one, I would do something a bit different. So the circle, maybe make her face a little bit brighter. Yes, why not? But this one, I'm going to erase. This one, I'm going to erase. This one, I'm going to erase. I'm going to erase. And then, yeah, I'm just leaving one. And this one is, I need to make it a bit darker. This one a bit darker. And then on this one, what I'm going to do, because she was basically backlit. So I'm going to keep on this one, but this one I'm going to do minus clarity on. Just a bit of exposure and a bit of shadows maybe on her. So we see her face. And then I'm going to duplicate this one, make it really big. And I'm going to do the reverse. This one, I'm not going to invert the circle, meaning whatever I do to it. And oh, there's a lot of things happening in my circle. So I'm going to erase this. I'm just going to lower a little bit to make everything dark except her. And then this one I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to do the opposite and make her a little bit brighter overall, something like that. Okay, and then all right, maybe make it a bit higher. And then on this one I would take a brush, zoom in, and then probably just dodge a little bit her face with a bit of minus clarity, you know, something like this. You know, and if you really want to get a professional results, a new brush, and this one I'm going to just do the eye. Just want to make her eye pop a little bit. Just the eye. If you go too much under, you can hold on the Alt key and it becomes an eraser, and you can erase that. I think on this one I'm going to go a little higher, a little bit bright. Not too much, because yeah, it looks weird if it's there too bright. Yeah, it does a little look weird already. Okay, but you know, it's just a general idea. It makes a really cool sort of black and white things. You can stop the video now if you know how to install preset. If you don't, let me show you. So the link you're going to download has a file called sourcefiles.zip, okay? You double click on it and you click on extract. If you're on Windows, you basically unzip it. Once you unzip it, you've got basically two things. You got a black and white Lightroom 5.6 folder that includes LR templates file. This is for people which have an old version, Lightroom 5 and Lightroom 6. And you've got a zip file, which is for people which have a current version. This works on Lightroom CC, Lightroom Classic. You know, make sure you're using the latest version. At the recording of this, I'm using the version which is 8.41 release. I don't know if there's a new release. And then it's so simple. All you have to do. So that's for people which are Lightroom CC users or Lightroom Classic users, 2019, you're paying $10 or whatever it is in your country to Creative Cloud. It's super easy, simple, because you're only going to use a zip file. You click here, import preset. So you navigate to where you've downloaded, wherever you know, and where you have unzip what I just gave you, and then you take just the zip file and you click on import, just the zip file, and they will be installed. Now for old Lightroom 5 users, what I advise you to do is you take any photo, like for example this, and you click create preset. You call this like test, and create a folder, like any folder, like a new group, sorry, a group. Let's call it Surge Black and White. Okay, and then click on create. That's going to create a folder called Surge Black and White. Then you right click on that folder, you click on import. You go to the folder called Black and White Lightroom 5 and 6. You choose the LR templates file, which are the old files working for your version, and you click on import. And here we go. We now have all the black and white presets here in Surge Black and White. If you have not seen it, check out last week's photography of the Garden of Luxembourg. I show you the behind the scene and how I got the shots, starting now.